Hey everybody, I just saw the new Pixar movie Elemental, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. Ever since word got out on this movie's release, people have been clowning on it, saying it's Shark Boy and Lava Girl, or Water and Fire, or whatever, basically just making fun of the premise. So then, when it got around time to release, the marketing came out, and the marketing was somehow weirder. Like, the animation looks really pretty and all, but the marketing was just interesting. Because once you see this film, you'll wonder why they didn't market it the way that they probably should have. But to talk about that, I'll have to get into spoilers. So, some more spoiler free general thoughts on this movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that bad, but at the same time, I didn't think it was that good either. Like, it's not really anywhere near the top tier Pixar movies, like Incredibles and Ratatouille and Wall-E. It's nowhere near those. But at the same time, is it a Lightyear? Is it The Good Dinosaur? Is it Brave? Is it Cars 2? No. It's nowhere close to that. Elemental, for me, after I saw it, sits somewhere in that range where it's not quite upper tier Pixar, but it is still a pretty decent, good movie. But to talk more about this movie, I'm gonna have to get into spoilers. So, last minute non spoiler thoughts. The animation's really pretty. I like the characters somewhat. I thought some of the jokes were interesting. And the overall story was fine. Okay, but that's enough non-spoilers. Let's get into the real spoilers. Get into the real meat of this video. Okay, spoiler thoughts. Now we can talk about what the heck was this movie's marketing. Like, I'm going on TikTok and they're showing this little Earth boy and his Riz. Why is this here? Why do I have to look at this little Earth guy? I hate him. I want to drop kick this character. He stinks. He's dumb. And I know why Claude is here. He's here to be the little cute character. Because every Disney and Pixar movie needs a little cute character that can be funny and is really small and adorable, so that little kids can go on and they can buy all the toys. I know how this works. I'm not mad at the character's existence. Like, Frozen has Olaf, Tangled has the little lizard guy. Like, these characters exist. They're in pretty much every Disney Pixar movie in existence. But why is, like, half of this film's marketing based around this character who has, like, 2 scenes? I don't understand it. But thoughts on the general movie? I thought the story of Ember and the Fire family basically serving as immigrants was really interesting, and I would have liked to see more of it, with Ember running the shop and dealing with her father and her family and trying to inherit the family business. I thought that was a really interesting conflict that could have been played up more. Like, I thought the arc concluding with Ember's bow at the end was really interesting. I mean, I could see it coming from a mile away, but it was still interesting. Then we get to the romance with Ember and Wade, and I also didn't hate that, but I didn't really love it either. I feel like I could predict every single story beat of their romance as it was happening. Like, you know that when they touch hands finally in that one scene, you know the breakup's coming soon after that, and it literally comes in, like, the next scene, and then you know they're gonna get back together, and so then you immediately know when Wade, like, dies in the end, you immediately know he's gonna come back, and you know he's gonna be accepted, and basically every story beat and plot point of this movie, I found myself being able to predict each one of it, which for Pixar I don't really like. Now, I'll say this, predictable does not mean bad. But I feel like in this movie specifically, I knew the Pixar formula down to a T. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, Pixar's been around for 20 years. You're gonna know how these movies go. But I feel like I wanted to be stunned a bit more, I guess is the way to put it. I wanted it to really pull on my emotions a bit more. I wanted it to make me cry or make me surprised. And I feel like that didn't really happen for me here. Nothing that was happening in this movie was just outright terrible, but nothing was really hitting that upper level that I've seen Pixar movies hit. Nothing in this movie has the scene of Dash running on water. Nothing in this movie has the scenes of Wall-E and Eve. Nothing in this movie has something to the ending of Coco. Like, there are just so many Pixar moments I can think of that really hit. And I feel like this movie lacks that in a sense. It lacks that big moment. And I feel like they were going for that when Wade, like, dies at the end. But it just didn't really work for me because you knew he was gonna come back. Like, if they actually did kill him for real, that would have been really interesting, but you know they're not going to do that because this is a kid's movie, and you're not going to kill a main character for real. But overall, looking at the world building as well, I thought that was interesting, but also kind of bland. Like, it suffers from the Onward thing, where it's got the ideas and stuff, but it's also bland at the same time. Like, Onward, they have all these magical people, but they just live in regular human world. And in Elemental, it's kind of a similar thing. I feel like I wanted more from the world building. Like, it felt like a ChatGPT version of Zootopia in a way, where it had some interesting ideas, like the sports game or whatever it was, and stuff like that, but I feel like I just wanted more stuff with the world building and more depth there that I don't think the movie really got into enough. But I thought the characters were interesting, I thought the story was interesting, it's just none of it really is able to grasp at that deeper level for me. I thought the immigrant story was nice, but I don't think it really got enough steam. I thought the romance was nice, but I don't really think it was given enough of an emotional pull for me. I thought the flood scenes were, like, okay, and they were kind of just there to give a third act action set piece for the climax, and that stuff was just kind of disinteresting. It feels like this movie has multiple threads going on with the immigrant story and the romance, and it never really figures out how to tie them both together and have them both hit you in their full force. So that's pretty much all of my spoiler thoughts on this movie, so all of you people who don't want spoilers, you can come back now. To sum up my final thoughts on this movie, I would say it's decent but not great. Every aspect in this movie is not bad, but it feels very predictable, and I feel like I know where it's going, and it never really hits as hard as I know Pixar movies can hit. I don't mind the characters, and I don't mind the story, and I don't mind the world, but none of it really reaches that upper level. So overall, I think Elemental is a movie you could see in theaters if you want to, or you could also wait until it's on Disney+. I don't think it's something like a Puss in Boots and the Last Wish, where I think you absolutely should get to theaters to see this movie, but I don't think it's like a Lightyear where it's like, you don't have to watch this because it isn't that great. I think it's somewhere in the middle, and with that, I think Elemental, for me, gets a 6 out of 10. Okay, how did you guys like this video? This is my first time doing a quick review, where I just thought I could get my thoughts out on a movie. I've never done this before, and I feel like it's a nice way for me to upload more on this channel without having to put so much time into bigger videos. But do you guys like this? Do you want more quick review stuff like this? Please let me know. And also, while I'm chatting, I'll just throw this out there, and I do have Letterboxd. If y'all want to follow me on there, I'll put it up on the screen now. But anyways, that's it for this quick review. If you want more stuff like this, please let me know. I will see you all later.